Nevertheless, somebody with a lot of knowledge, if they're on a broadband connection and they're speaking to somebody in a 56K connection, it's anything but easy to tell the truth. Like I said before, one in the know can say the truth very easily to another in the know. If one in the know is speaking to an individual that is not in the know, saying the truth is anything but easy. Why? Because of what you know of the enormous gaps that they have. That you cannot just say the truth because they'll understand the words with the limited understanding they have in their concept building by society. But they would need to go through so much. And you know that they don't believe that. Telling them that makes no sense to them. They say, the truth is simple, you should be able to give me a simple answer. And then what happens is the people that have knowledge get very frustrated. The very moment you interrupt them or cut off what they're saying to you when they have to extend great patience to try to tell you the truth, and you cut them off and want to give them your opinion, or you tell them that you agree with them or disagree. To somebody in the know, when they're speaking to somebody that is not in the know, when the person that is not in the know says that they agree or disagree, both of those things are offensive. Because they know you should just have your mouth shut and take in what they're saying, and a lot of what they're saying will be rhetoric. But I talk to people like this all the time. They completely ignore the rhetoric. I'll use rhetoric. That if they had wisdom, they would understand at least, okay, there's something with this, and they blow it off. They go, yeah, but anyway, and then I blow them off. And they have no idea why I blew them off. Or people will just bombard me with questions. Questions that are what you call loaded. Anybody in the know would say that's a loaded question. Because you lack so much just in the fact that you're asking those questions shows how much you don't know. And you ask them in a very naive way. It's not your fault, but you expect a simple answer. People will go up to somebody with knowledge that has required an entire lifetime of attentive awareness to their experiences, detailed and disciplined effort to extract meaning from your life, and they ask you a simple question and expect somehow that you are going to be able to transfer a lifetime of understanding in 2 or 3 paragraphs. They truly do. They do expect that, otherwise they wouldn't ask the question. So you have this huge gap between those who are in the know and those who are not in the know. Those who are not in the know do not know they're not in the know because of how they have been taught to think. They have been incorrectly instructed in their thinking process itself. They have been taught to look outside of themselves for answers. They have been misinformed about what answers are because they've spent their whole life having the meaning spoon-fed to them. They think that's how it works, so you ask a question and somebody can spoon-feed you the answer. And because you lack any meaning or an understanding, you don't understand why that answer is wrong, limited, or even misleading you. You can't. Based upon that, based upon how you've been instructed to think. So a lot of people that have knowledge, when they interact with the average person, they get very, very frustrated. Very. They'll just look at you. All they can do is look at you because they can't say anything to you. You would not be able to extract meaning from what they say. They said gum. All you would do is hear chewing gum. And they're thinking 500 different meanings to gum, all leading up to a point of conclusion. If you lack that, it's a waste of time to tell you anything. This is why, when you hear someone tell you that you cannot be told the truth, this is why. So they'll look at you and they'll have that look. And those in the know understand that look. It's a look that says, you know so little. You know absolutely nothing and don't know it. To tell you what I know, I would need 500 mouths and have to be able to speak 500 different sentences simultaneously, all at the same time, to express what I know, and you would have to be able to interpret 500 simultaneous sentences flowing at you at once. That's what that look says. And the look also says you don't even know that. And if I told you that, you would call me arrogant because you've been trained to call people arrogant. You don't even know what that means. So they'll just sit there and shake their head at you. They shake their head from side to side because they're paralyzed. It's the questions you ask, the way that you ask the questions, and what you do if they actually try to answer them. How long does it take before you cut them off, roll your eyes, or get distracted by something that occurs in the room, like a cat being distracted by bright and shiny objects? And if they're trying to tell you something, and maybe your cell phone will ring and you'll tell the person trying to give you truth to hang on, Shelley has to talk about her boyfriend. Okay, hey, you're not going to get the truth. You're nowhere near prepared to even comprehend anything that is true. And then you say, come on, just tell me. You can't be told. Well, that doesn't make sense. All you have to do is tell me. You can't be told. Not in your current state. You need a lot of work. And you don't understand why you need a lot of work. That's what it comes down to.
Are you going to see the concert tonight? Yes. Are you going to hear it? Okay. You hear and see it, and it's going to happen fast, and you're not going to get it all, and you might even hear the wrong words, you know. And then afterwards, see, I won't be able to talk to you afterwards. I got nothing to say about these things I write. I mean, I just write them. I don't have to say anything about them. I don't write them for any reason. There's no great message. I mean, if you know, you want to tell other people that, go ahead and tell them. But I'm not going to have to answer to it. And they're just going to think, you know, what's this Time magazine telling us? But you couldn't care less about that either. You don't know the people that read you. Because, you know, I've never been in Time magazine, and yet this hall is filled twice. You know, and I've never been in Time magazine. I don't need Time magazine. And I don't think I'm a folk singer. You'll probably call me a folk singer, but, you know, the other people know better. Because the people that, you know, that buy my records listen to me don't necessarily read Time magazine. You know, the audience that subscribe to Time magazine, the audience of the people that want to know what's happening in the world week by week, the people that work during the day and can read it, it's small, right, and it's concise, and there's pictures in it. I mean, those kind of, you know, those, a certain class of people, it's a class of people that take the magazine seriously. I mean, sure, I can read it, you know, and I read it on the airplanes, but I don't take it seriously. If I want to find out anything, I'm not going to read Time magazine. I'm not going to read Newsweek. I'm not going to read any of these magazines. I mean, because they just got too much to lose by printing the truth. You know that.
What kinds of truths are they reading in?
On anything, even on a worldwide basis. They just go off the stands in a day if they printed really the truth.
What is really the truth?
Really the truth is just a plain picture.
Of what? For example?
Of you know, a plain picture of let's say, you know, a tramp vomiting, man, into the sewer, you know, and next door to the picture, you know, Mr. Rockefeller or, you know, Mr. C.W. Jones, you know, on the subway going to work. You know, any kind of picture. Just make some sort of collage of pictures, which they don't do. They don't do. There's no ideas in Time magazine. There's just these facts. Well, you know, which too are switched, because even the article on what you're doing, the way it's going to come out, don't you see, it can't be a good article, because the guy that's writing the article is sitting in a desk in New York. He is not even going out of his office. He's just going to get all these 15, you know, reporters, and they're going to send him a quota, you know. No, he's going to put himself on. He's going to put all his readers on, and you know, and another week will be, you know, have some space in the magazine. But that's all. It means nothing to anybody else. I'm not putting that down, because people have got to eat and live, you know. But at least be honest about it. You know, I mean, sure. Yeah,
I just
see,
don't-
see,
I don't
I mean,
know the
I know
perspective
more
of
about
me.
what you do, and you don't even have to ask me how or why or anything, just by looking. You know, then you'll ever know about me, ever. I mean, I could tell you, you know, I'm not a folk singer, and explain to you why, but you wouldn't really understand. All you could do, you could nod your head. You would nod your head.
You could be willing to try. And say,
No, I couldn't even be willing to try because it would be, you know, there's certain things which, every word has its little letter and big letter.
Your friend had the right word, pigeonhole.
No, it's not pigeonhole. It's not the word at all. You know, every word has its little letter and big letter, like the word no.
Yeah.
You know, the word no, K-N-O-W.
Yeah.
Okay, you know the word no, capital K-N-O-W?
Yeah.
Like each of us really knows nothing.